a technology which has been mastered only by Russia, America and China.
Will be the first of its kind for India and proving that India is ready for even more ambitious projects.
India is entering into a completely new domain.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ सारे जहाज से अच्छा।
All stations stand by for the time mark. This is mission control. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
गगनयान जब अंतरिक्ष में जाएगा, हिंदुस्तान ही लेकर के जाएगा। हिंदुस्तान के वैज्ञानिकों के द्वारा हुआ, हिंदुस्तान के पुरुषार्थ के द्वारा हुआ होगा। तब विश्व के अंदर हम चौथे देश बन जाएंगे जो मानव को अंतरिक्ष में पहुंचाने वाले बन जाएंगे।
In the vast expanse of space where nations compete for dominance beyond Earth's atmosphere, a new contender has emerged from an unexpected corner of the globe. India, once a British colony struggling for independence, is now designing its future among the stars. This is the story of how a developing nation with limited resources but unlimited determination transformed itself into a space superpower. And at the heart of this transformation lies a remarkable achievement, SpaDeX, the space docking experiment. The humble beginnings. India's space journey began not with ambitions of interplanetary travel or military dominance, but with a simple humanistic vision. In 1962, just 15 years after gaining independence, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of India's space program, outlined a philosophy that would guide the nation for decades to come. We do not have the fantasy of competing with the economically advanced nations in the exploration of the moon or the planets, or manned spaceflight, but we are convinced that if we are to play a meaningful role nationally and in the community of nations, we must be second to none in the application of advanced technologies to the real problems of man and society. This vision materialized into the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, in 1969.
What Satish Dhawan said, I want to support my technologists and scientists and staff so that next year they succeed. So he took the whole brain.
While NASA was landing humans on the moon, India was taking its first tentative steps into space technology, focusing on satellites that could help with weather forecasting, telecommunications, and education for its vast rural population. The resourceful innovation. What has distinguished India's space program from the beginning is its commitment to frugal innovation, achieving complex objectives with minimal resources. This approach, often called Jugaad in Hindi, became ISRO's signature style. In the 1970s and 80s, when other space powers were spending billions, Indian scientists were building satellites in industrial sheds and transporting rocket parts on bicycles and bullock carts. The images of rocket components being transported on bicycles have become iconic symbols of India's ingenious approach to space exploration. This cost-effectiveness became India's calling card.
Next year, July 18, 1980, when he succeeded, Professor Dhawan said, you go and conduct the press conference. Do you follow what this means? It means when the failure occurred, the leader took it up. When the success came, he gives to his team. That's the first.
The Mars orbiter mission, Mangalyaan, in 2014 cost just $74 million, less than the budget of the Hollywood space movie Gravity. When Mangalyaan successfully entered Mars orbit on its first attempt, India became the only nation to achieve this feat on its maiden try. Prime Minister Narendra Modi famously quipped that the mission cost less than a taxi ride in New York City, costing just 7 rupees. 10 cents per kilometer. The strategic shift. By the early 2000s, India's space ambitions began to expand beyond purely socio-economic applications. The geopolitical landscape was shifting, and space was becoming the new frontier for demonstrating technological prowess and strategic capability. China's rapid advancement in space, including anti-satellite tests and ambitious lunar missions, created a new urgency in New Delhi. India needed to demonstrate its capabilities not just in civilian applications, but also in areas with strategic implications. This led to a series of missions that showcased India's growing technological sophistication. Chandrayaan-1 in 2008, which discovered water molecules on the moon. The Mars orbiter mission in 2014, Chandrayaan-2 in 2019, which, despite the lander's crash, successfully placed an orbiter around the moon, and the triumphant Chandrayaan-3 in 2023, which successfully landed near the lunar South Pole, a region no other nation had reached before each mission built upon the last, demonstrating increasing capabilities and ambitions. But ISRO knew that to truly join the elite club of space superpowers, India needed to master human spaceflight and the complex technologies it requires. The SpaDeX breakthrough. This brings us to SpaDeX, the space docking experiment, perhaps the most technically challenging and strategically significant mission in India's space history. Orbital docking is a complex maneuver where two spacecraft rendezvous and connect while traveling at speeds of about 28,000 kilometers per hour. The precision required is extraordinary, akin to threading a needle while riding a motorcycle at top speed. For decades, only Russia, the United States, China, and the European Space Agency had mastered this technique. It's essential for building and maintaining space stations, in-orbit servicing of satellites, crew transfer between spacecraft, and most importantly for India's ambitions, human spaceflight missions. The SpaDeX mission was conceived as a technology demonstrator, a critical precursor to India's Gaganyaan mission, which aims to send Indian astronauts to space. But it was also much more, a declaration of India's arrival as a comprehensive space power. The mission involved two specially designed satellites, a chaser satellite equipped with docking system, cameras, and propulsion, a target satellite designed to be captured. On a clear morning in January 2024, a PSLV rocket thundered into the sky from Sriharikota, carrying these two satellites. Once in orbit, they separated, and the complex dance began. For 3 days, the chaser satellite performed a series of maneuvers, gradually approaching the target. Using algorithms developed entirely by Indian engineers, it matched velocity and orientation with micrometer precision. Then came the moment of truth, the final approach and soft capture. In ISRO's control room, engineers watched with bated breath as the distance closed. 100 meters, 50 meters, 10 meters, and then success. The two spacecraft connected 400 kilometers above Earth, making India only the 5th entity in the world to master this technology. What's remarkable is that ISRO achieved this on its very first attempt, maintaining its perfect record of first-time success in complex missions. Technical achievement. The significance of SpaDeX extends far beyond its technical accomplishment. It represents several important dimensions of India's evolving space identity. Strategic autonomy. By mastering docking technology, India reduced its dependence on foreign space powers for future crewed missions and space station development. As Dr. K. Sivan, former ISRO chairman, noted, self-reliance in space has become as important as self-reliance in defense. Commercial opportunity. SpaDeX demonstrated India's capability to service satellites in orbit, a market projected to be worth billions in coming decades. This positions ISRO's commercial arm, New Space India Limited, to compete for lucrative international contracts. Diplomatic leverage. Success in space translates to soft power on Earth. SpaDeX elevated India's standing in international space governance bodies and strengthened its position in negotiations about the future rules of space. Domestic inspiration. Perhaps most importantly, SpaDeX ignited the imagination of millions of young Indians. Enrollment in aerospace engineering programs surged by 40% in the year following the mission. As one 12-year-old student from a rural village told reporters, "If India can dock spacecraft in space, I can become a scientist, despite my background." The human spaceflight horizon. With SpaDex's success, the path to Gaganyaan, India's human spaceflight mission, became clearer. Scheduled for late 2025, Gaganyaan aims to send 3 Indian astronauts, Vyomanauts from the Sanskrit word for space, to low Earth orbit for a week-long mission. The program has already selected 12 candidates from the Indian Air Force, including 4 women pilots who are undergoing rigorous training in both India and partner facilities abroad. What makes Gaganyaan unique, explains Mission Director Nitin Sharma, is that we're not just replicating what others have done. We're building a human spaceflight capability that reflects Indian priorities, cost-effectiveness, sustainability, and potential for commercialization. Indeed, ISRO's plans extend beyond a single crewed mission. There are already blueprints for a small space station called Bharatiya Antariksh Station, Indian Space Station, to be launched in modules starting in 2028. The geopolitical context. India's rise as a space power occurs against a complex geopolitical backdrop. The space domain is becoming increasingly contested, with China's rapid advancement and aggressive posturing causing concern in capitals worldwide. By demonstrating sophisticated capabilities like those showcased in SpaDeX, India positions itself as a stabilizing force, a democratic counterweight to authoritarian space ambitions, and a reliable partner for like-minded nations. This has led to expanded cooperation with traditional space powers. The United States, Japan, France, and others have deepened their space partnerships with India. The Indo-Pacific Space Cooperation Initiative, launched in 2023, represents a new framework for collaborative projects among democratic spacefaring nations. Challenges and critiques. India's space ascendance hasn't been without criticism. Some question whether a nation still grappling with poverty should invest billions in space exploration. Others point to the program's environmental impact and the militarization of space technologies. Dr. Priya Agarwal, a space policy expert at Delhi University, offers perspective. These are valid concerns that deserve attention, but they present false dichotomies. Space technology has proven to deliver tremendous socio-economic benefits, from crop forecasting that helps farmers to disaster warning systems that save thousands of lives annually. As for environmental concerns, ISRO has committed to developing green propellants and reducing space debris. The organization recently launched a space sustainability charter that has garnered international praise. The future frontier. As we look to the future, India's space ambitions continue to expand. Beyond Gaganyaan and the planned space station, ISRO has announced plans for a Venus orbiter mission named Shukrayaan, a Mars lander follow-up to the successful orbiter, a space-based solar power demonstration project, and Chandrayaan-4, a sample return mission from the moon. But perhaps the most exciting prospect is how India's success is reshaping the global space ecosystem. The country has become a model for emerging space powers, demonstrating that with vision, persistence, and ingenious approaches, nations can establish meaningful space capabilities despite resource constraints. India has also become a preferred launch partner for developing nations. Its PSLV rocket has launched satellites for over 20 countries, many taking their first steps into space. From transporting rocket parts on bicycles to docking spacecraft in orbit, India's space journey embodies the nation's broader transformation. It tells a story of ambition tempered by pragmatism, of reaching for the stars while keeping feet firmly on the ground. The SpaDeX mission stands as a milestone in this remarkable journey, a testament to Indian ingenuity and perseverance. It signals that the club of comprehensive space powers is no longer limited to the wealthiest nations or those with military-industrial legacies. As we witness the emergence of a more multipolar space environment, India's rise offers hope that the exploration and utilization of space might proceed with a diversity of perspectives and approaches, not just technological, but philosophical as well. The stars, it seems, are no longer the domain of just a few. And as India has shown through SpaDeX and its broader space program, the journey to space supremacy isn't just about resources. It's about resolve, creativity, and a vision that connects the cosmos back to humanity. In the words of former President APJ Abdul Kalam, himself a rocket scientist, "Look at the sky. We are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us and conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work." India has dreamed, India has worked, and now, through achievements like SpaDeX, India has taken its place among the stars.